So those
They
Orioles,
make, well, I was going to say that Remax just makes the best
they
videos.
do. They do make the best videos.
I think I read an article yesterday. It says, if you don't choose a Remax agent, good luck with the competition because we're still number one. Something like that. I wasn't exactly
It was
sure.
great. It was great.
But anyway, happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. You could be anywhere tonight, anywhere at all, but you decided to join us on Let's Talk Real Estate. We're so thrilled to have you in the house with us.
We are.
And we cannot wait to introduce our guest, but that's a little bit further down the show. It's a jam-packed show, but how about those Orioles? Are you devastated?
Bravo for 101 wins.
I
love those boys.
Yep, it was definitely a great try. No question about it, but you know what? It's we have next season.
Yes, if anybody saw ESPN's post, I just thought that was crap. Anyway, they put Adley's picture, which, you know, Adley's the best thing that's happened to that team since Rick Dempsey. Like, what a great catcher. So encouraging to everybody. Everybody needs an Adley in their life. But anyway.
Jam-packed show. We got all kinds of things coming up.
I'm not done talking about Adley.
You'll do it on the flip side of the bumper video.
No.
Yes, we'll be right back, and we can continue talking about Adley. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. But we're going to continue talking about Adley, but we're going to do that.
We are. Let me finish.
Go ahead. You can finish.
You're being so rude. I'm ready to walk.
Absolutely.
Goodbye. I'm going to walk.
You can't walk. You're chained to this chair. You cannot walk.
You walked me.
No.
Anyway, they put his picture up and said eliminate it. Like, that's just wrong. You know, you could have said great job this year, boys. Yep. You know, last year you lost how many? This year, look at you. Anyway, we love the O's. Thank you for working so hard. Are we sad? Oh my gosh, I think we stress ate everything in the house that was available.
Thank you for tuning in tonight. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. And you can always follow us on social media. If you're not watching us live on Facebook, you are certainly doing it on LinkedIn. We stream live to LinkedIn. We also stream live to Twitter and or is it X? Is it X, formerly known as Twitter? And we also stream live to YouTube. So welcome all of our friends there. And we also have a TikTok account. So if you want to see Maria and I dance, just simply go to our TikTok, and that's a real funny.
Well, it's football season.
Funny
it's
times.
time that we do a new one on the field.
That's right. Thank you for supporting our merchandise, by the way, our team merch, mhtmerch.com. We have all kinds of shirts and mugs and things like that you can pick up there, and we really appreciate you there. And also, if you're on YouTube, please feel free to subscribe to us. We really appreciate it. Like and subscribe to get notifications of our upcoming shows, and we would certainly appreciate the support. Exactly. So first of all, just to share with you, this is an upbeat show, no question about it. But over the last several days, our prayers are definitely go out to Israel, the families and friends that we have that are Jewish, and we just want to pray for that country. And
regardless if you're Jewish or not, we
It's
support
a
Israel.
difficult situation over there right now, very, very difficult, very volatile, and we just want to send our prayers their way. So
yes,
we really
absolutely.
appreciate that.
For the peace in Israel.
Yeah.
Thank you, honey, for saying that.
Yeah, so we have a great show tonight, by the way. So just in a few minutes after we talk about a real estate topic, we have Chef Mike with Stove and Garden in the house. Big applause for him, by the way.
Yes,
big
we're
applause.
Excited about that.
And we're excited to have him on board. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun having him on. And he's going to make a special dish for us. And so you definitely want to hang out. Now, listen, this is a question and answer type of format. Just put it in the comment section below what your questions, any comments or anything like that you happen to have, because we'll put them up on the screen and we'll do the best we can to get to each and every one of them. Give us a thumbs up if you like what we're doing. If you love our show, we really appreciate it. And we appreciate the engagement as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. So without further ado, we're going to dive into our subject here. I guess today's topics are, obviously we have the interview with Chef Mike with Stove and Garden. And do you ever say we're in a crazy housing market? Do you ever hear our clients say that?
Sometimes. I don't say that because I know that's not the right thing to say.
It's not the right thing to say.
But you know me.
Yep, exactly.
It's the teacher in me.
Yep. Yeah. So it's
So
you
when
know,
people say that, go ahead, explain.
so
Would
with,
you marry someone who's crazy? Would you hang out with a friend who's crazy?
yeah,
So so let's talk about what crazy really means. And is that the right word for this market? Ever
exactly.
changing, day to day? Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So just keep in mind that whenever we talk about the marketplace, we try not to use the words like crazy when it comes to the market. Obviously, would you date someone that's crazy? Absolutely not. Is it a complicated market? Absolutely, it is. It's the market is designed right now, or it's set up for the pros to excel. It's not
Yes.
for those that, and it's not for the hobbyist. It's not for those that want to
Right.
treat real estate as a hobby. You need to be a pro to be able to handle this, and that's why we do our market stats each time that we do our show. We're on top of the market, and we want to
Yes.
make sure that that you are not dating a real estate team here that is crazy. We're not crazy. It's not a crazy market.
Oh,
It's a
thank you.
complicated one. It's
Although
one
it's a
that
little
has a lot
late
of
for me.
twists and
No one told me
turns.
that while we were dating, but it's too late.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I'm
Speaking,
glad.
how many years will it be next week?
Next week will be, folks, just a little drum roll here.
For
Um,
sure.
it will be 30 years.
Is it?
30 years
It
next
is
week. That's
30
right.
years. Yes.
1993, October 16th is when we were married.
Yes. Good
When I
memory,
when I
honey.
drug you kicking and screaming down the aisle, and I was thrilled to death to do that. And I'm so glad
And
that you.
I was like 40 minutes late for my own wedding. No one told me I was late. I'm
Yeah,
typically
I'm
late.
sweating
I'm
and
still late to this day.
oh my
But
goodness.
anyway,
Yeah, yeah, it was crazy.
but so it's
See how I
funny.
said crazy again?
We just had a an interview for a listing, and lovely, lovely, actually Jewish client. It was also darling. She said that somebody at the bank, at her bank, said this is not a great time to sell the market. So if I need to know
sell
the
in this
interest
market.
rate
Yep.
on my,
hmm
if I need the interest rate on my savings account, or I need someone to tell me about a money market, I'm probably not going to call my real estate agent for that. I'm probably going to go to the bank for those answers.
That's right.
So I doubt that the bank knows for sure if it's a good time to sell their house or not. So that answer is so totally wrong. It is a great time to sell your house.
hmm
Inventory is the lowest it has been pre-COVID,
Yep.
even during COVID.
So we just found out. By the way, we just found out yesterday that since this time 2022, the inventory has actually creeped up slightly over those numbers. So we're going to stay on top of those numbers. By the way, we're going to stay on top of it so we can give you the best guidance out there, of course. But just to let you know, that's where we're kind of heading right now. So yeah.
So there's lots of people looking for homes still. Interest rates, they're
hmm
fluctuating. They're fluctuating. They go up, they go down. Hopefully they go down.
There's always
And
someone buying. There's always someone selling.
always,
Yep.
many
hmm
people want to retire and downsize. I mean, that's what we're hearing a lot of right now.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
And if your family's growing, or you just outgrow your house just because you're working from home, and you need a bigger house, and you bought smart, you probably have equity.
hmm
Most people have equity in their house right now.
Yeah.
You're going to do just fine.
So our team is pretty busy right now. We're involved in so many different types of situations, different types of family situations. I'm working with an estate sale right now, where an estate was never even opened yet, and we're going to be putting that house on the market. So we're trying to navigate through these things. So I mean, there's a lot of different
Right.
aspects. It's not just as easy as people think. Hey, I'm going to decide to sell, and you put your house on the market tomorrow. It doesn't work that way all the
Right.
time.
Or by yourself.
Yes,
Without
we
any
work in a lot of
help.
difficult situations like
Right.
that. So, and that's what you're finding out there right now.
And
So.
short sales, we just closed on a short sale.
Yes,
Short sales are still
down in
happening.
Baltimore City.
They're not
Yep.
as common as they were 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
Yeah, I still don't
but
think
they
you're going to
are.
find them as much as you did, obviously, 07, 08. You're not going to find them as much because of the way the interest rates are right now. But, people are stressed. They're nervous, and we want to take that nervousness away. We want you to be a resource to you and for you to call
Absolutely.
us. Just call us, email us, and just say, hey, this is the scenario that I'm in. What are your thoughts? Because I can
Right.
almost promise you I've probably already been there and done that probably 5 times before. Since 91, that's why I've sold a little over probably 3 billion in sales. That's right, billion with a B. I've done 3 billion in sales since 91, and I've come across every type of scenario you can imagine. So it's really important to do that. But anyhow, we want to move on with the show, and we are
Yes, we do.
so excited to have in the house We have Chef Mike with Stove and Garden. We're going to introduce him now. Big round of applause for Chef Mike. Chef, thank you, my friend.
How's it going, everybody?
We're doing
Great.
very well, very well. Now, I have to apologize. Well, not that I have to apologize, but my wife found you first, of course, because she scrolls through the internet like crazy.
Well, I met through his
right?
mom.
Yes.
We were talking real estate.
Yes, yes. Well, she likes to go through all the food at 10 o'clock at night. My wife is the one that's on the sofa and says, look at this. You can make, you could put chickpeas in to make, this dip. And I'm like, what?
Dip. Tell him, Mike, what dip that is. He doesn't even know what
I don't know. What is it? Hominy? Hominy?
Hummus.
Hummus. I knew it started with an H. I knew it started with an H.
Something you don't eat and you need
exactly.
to.
Jenny, thank you so much for joining in with us tonight, by the way. Thank you so much. I miss Jenny Eisenach. But yeah, so she's one of those ones that does that. So as soon as she brought up your name and brought up the fact that she was already speaking to your mom and things like that, because there's always a connection there, right? I thought, oh, we've got to have him on the show, because I saw some of your TikToks. I mean, not TikToks, but your Instagram posts.
Or even the reels.
Meal preps and things like that, your reels.
But he does have TikToks.
Fantastic, my friend. Big kudos to you on how you do your presentations and things like that. It's wonderful. And I really wanted to.
Thank you.
I'm so thrilled to have you on board with us tonight.
Well, thanks a lot. That means a lot. I appreciate it.
Yeah, go ahead and please introduce yourself to everybody who's never heard of you.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Mike Hayes. I've been cooking for what feels like forever, but I guess I would say professionally, I've been cooking since I was about 16 years old. I turned 30 last year, so I'll be 31 in December. So needless to say, I've been cooking for quite some time. Still have so much to learn. I feel like that's very important to point out when people hear a certain number. I've been working in this field for a certain amount of time. I've been cooking for X amount of years. Everybody's got places to improve, and everybody's got goals. It's exciting. But yeah, so I probably around 2020, right around 2020, I started making food content related videos on TikTok. My second video hit 1 million views, and it was all downhill from there.
Wow.
It just steamrolled right from there. And I went from 1 million views to then like 10,000 followers. Right, and then that just steamrolled over the course of a year and a half to over 1 million followers. And, at that time, I was still working a full-time job, coming home and cooking for my content. I was actually let go from my job probably 6 months ago, and along with a bunch of other people from my department. And at first I was disappointed and I was upset. And I thought, how can I make this into a positive situation? And I said, you know what? Right now is the perfect opportunity to chase my dream, go after doing something that I love every single day. And of course that's cooking. And since then, I like to say this to friends and family. I say, hey, I haven't missed a house payment yet. So I'm doing something right so far.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We can't wait for you to cater one of our events that
Absolutely.
we're doing as well. So Chef Mike, tell me what your second video was about. I don't know that I've seen it or not. That got you 2 million views.
Yeah. So basically I was sharing cooking hacks that I learned while I worked in the restaurant industry. And the three of them were, I don't even remember all of them, but I remember the one was a classic technique of putting a wet paper towel underneath a cutting board, not a wooden cutting board like this, but like a plastic cutting board, so that it wouldn't move while it's on the table if you're trying to cut on top of it. Another one was putting saran wrap over top of chicken before you beat it with a meat tenderizer. That way it limits the amount of raw chicken juice that kind of flies everywhere. And I don't remember what the last one was, but basically that's what it was. It's sharing cooking hacks. Sure. And people just seemed to love it. And after that, I realized, hey, I'm onto something here. And I started making a bunch of other videos just like that were like, hey, these are 3 cooking hacks I learned while working in a restaurant. And it
Right.
just went on and on.
And you're amazed at how many people maybe weren't around people who cooked. I'm finding more and more with my children that are still in school that their parents, they all go out to eat all the time. They're like, Mom, they
Yeah.
never get a home cooked meal. And
Yeah.
being raised in an Italian family,
People my age,
I know.
I think I'm sorry to cut you off. I think it's
No.
crazy people my age in their 30s, maybe mid 20s, how many of them don't know when chicken is finished cooking.
Right.
They don't know when their pasta noodle is done cooking, or if it's undercooked or overcooked,
Right.
and how can I cook this dish? I don't know how to do that. And that's why when I started making these videos, I thought, you know what? There's so many people out there who don't know where to start, and they see all these other content creators on here making these fast chop videos where things are just boom, 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 and they're making calamari and they're making, you know, all kinds of crazy dishes that
Right.
aren't very simple and
Right.
straightforward. And I thought, you know
Right.
what, there's a market here, and I can share what I know, even if it's very simple things, and see where it goes. And I started by making grilled cheeses. I was like, hey, grilled cheese is the perfect. I've never made
Mom's favorite.
anything. Let's make it. It's a grilled cheese or a quesadilla. Anything simple like that. And
Right.
that's where it all
Right.
started.
And super popular. People love those kind of meals. And it's
Absolutely.
funny that my mom recently was diagnosed with some heart issues, and her doctor said, I mean, she walks 3 miles a day and she's a good healthy eater. And I'm like, how is that even possible? And he said, Marianne, let me tell you, because she's going to almost be 80. He said she is as healthy as she is to now because she doesn't eat out all the time, because she does cook a lot of meals at home. That is why, besides she
Right.
walks, but and of course there's genetics that play into that. But he said that
Of course.
eating meals at home and not out is just healthier for you. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, that's so good to know. So
Mm.
this is going to help everybody. They want to make something quick and easy, healthy and delicious. Like just the things
Absolutely.
that you share.
Yeah, this is
Will,
all this what I'm making today is all of the above on that. It's very simple. It may look complicated at the end because
Mm. We're gonna be right back with Mike. I think probably
I'm
his
back. Sorry
phone.
about that. I
There he
got
is.
called.
that's
No,
okay.
no, you're good. You're good. I'm coming right back
See,
to
they
you.
want to know
Um,
already.
yeah.
We
So
had a backup
it may
plan, Chef
look
Rob.
complicated. Yeah, it may look complicated when it's done. It's because presentation is important too, and you want something to look very good. And when it looks really good, sometimes it looks complicated. But I assure you, it's going to be
Right.
very simple today.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. That's great. Let me ask you something. So, what inspires all of your creativity within in the kitchen? What inspires you?
Honestly, teaching is
Mm.
so meaningful to me. I think when somebody gives you their time in any facet, when someone gives you their time, it's worth way more than money. If somebody gives you 15, 20 minutes of their time, an hour of their time to help you with something, whether it's moving a couch out of your house, helping you with a dump run, teaching you how to do something on your computer, whatever it is, I think it means a lot. And I like making personal connections with people. It's something that I thrive on, and it's something that I didn't have at my previous job. A lot of it was very cookie cutter and in and out type of relationships with customers, and I like to getting to know people and really thriving on making a connection with people. And I think through food, it's a wonderful way to do it.
Yeah, yeah, that's wonderful.
I
That
think the
really is.
Italians had that down pat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sharing a meal with somebody, just cooking together.
What type of meal? I gotta ask this question. So, what type of meal? What type of cuisine? I guess. Do you most enjoy cooking, and why?
Yeah, absolutely. Italian, and it's as
Uh,
simple as that. Um,
is there any
I
other
did
way?
Smart man, smart man.
yeah. Well, it's absolutely delicious. It may not be the most healthy food out there. It can be rather fattening, but it is delicious nonetheless. I grew up on all sorts of different pasta dishes. My grandmother is Italian. I'm half Italian, half Irish. Um, and I mean, it's something I grew up eating all the time. So of course, any simple Italian dish just hits home for me. A lot of restaurants I cooked in were all Italian. So it's just something I love, I enjoy, and how can you go wrong with Italian? It's the best.
That's right, Chef. I know you're gonna be making a meal or making a dish for us in a few minutes here, but just a couple more questions if you don't mind. And also, if you have any questions and you're watching this program tonight, give us a thumbs up, give us a heart, ask your questions. We really appreciate it. We'll make sure that we throw them up on the screen for Chef Mike and us to attempt to answer. But do you cook for people in their homes, like for special events and things like that?
I absolutely do. That's part of what I started doing about 6 months ago. Um, I asked myself, how can I turn what I do with my content creating and make it a physical product? Aside from making spices or making some sort of other physical product that I'm selling like that, I thought, what better way to do this than to go to people's homes, cook for them, and then that knocks off all the checklists of everything that I enjoy. I love cooking for people. I love teaching people. I love meeting people, making that personal connection. And so that's my favorite thing is to show up to your house. I cook for you, whatever you want, and then I clean up and I'm out of your hair.
And you know
Wow.
what? So many people have been talking post COVID that, with workers being short, like everyone's worried about how their food's being cooked. They're afraid people are taking shortcuts because cost is
Yeah,
up. And if you're there making it in front of them, we have no worries. That is going to be just perfect.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And
You
and
know,
that's where it all comes from. Nothing is prepped before I get to their house. I show up to your house, I prep everything there, even if that means I have to show up an hour and a half early to make sure I can prep everything so that you get a nice dinner service. That's what I'm all about. And the whole time while I'm there, I will be as quiet as a mouse if you want me to, and I will engage in conversation with you if you like. I've had clients that had dinner parties where it was nice and fun and it was very loose, and then I've also had dinner parties that were very strict. Customers stayed at the table the whole time, and it was course after course after course. It all depends on what the client enjoys, and I'm happy just to provide my services to them.
awesome.
Wow, that's really great.
It
That's
is.
fantastic.
It
And of
is.
course, the best way to probably contact you is on Facebook. Just go to facebook.com/stove and garden, and you can
Yep.
contact Chef Mike through there if you want more details on how to have him in your home and for a special event such as like a 30th wedding anniversary, something like that. I mean, he could probably do something for you there. I might be a little late on
Endless
that one.
possibilities.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, exactly. So, Chef, what are you gonna be making for us tonight?
All right, so we're going to be making a classic Italian dish, typically an appetizer of sorts, but we are making tomato bruschetta. A lot of people
Mm,
call it bruschetta. I think that's the proper Sicilian and an Italian way of saying it, but however you say it, it's totally fine. It's going to be delicious either way. So yeah, let's make some tomato bruschetta, and it's very simple, and it's only a few ingredients.
Awesome.
To start, I'll show you what I did over here. I already pre-cooked off some crostinis, and this is basically a baguette roll, a baguette loaf, and you're going to slice them diagonally so that they're nice and long, and you get a pretty good amount of surface area on them. I hit these with some olive oil and fried them in a pan. Hit them with salt and pepper, and these are all set and ready to go. So, our tomatoes. So let's do that. My tomatoes of choice for this are Roma tomatoes. Roma tomatoes or tomatoes on the vine are absolutely fantastic for this because they have a lot of juice and they're packed with flavor. So that's where it's all about. So let me bring you in closer so you can see. Alrighty,
nice.
perfect. All right. So first things first, and let me explain. I like to have my bowl where I mix all of my ingredients and put everything in here. And then I have a bowl for scraps so that you're not running over to the trash can over and over again if you have anything you need to throw out. So I have two separate bowls. So here we go. We're going to start with the tomato. And the first thing you're going to want to do is cut off the top, just like so. And then I'm going to slice it down from the top like this into two halves. And now I'm going to slice like this, and we're just going to dice it at this point. Straight across like so. And what you want to do is have a nice fine dice. You don't want them to be too large, although you also don't want them to be too small. So I would have to say, this is the size that you're looking for. Hopefully it gives you a good example.
I always wonder about that. What size?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you never know tastes, what other people enjoy, but I would say, for the most part, a nice small dice on your tomatoes for a bruschetta is pretty much the way to go. So, I will also say, I make this for clients very often. This is one of a few different appetizers that I offer. I offer tomato bruschetta, which is this dish here, so I won't go into too much detail on this. I also offer a blackened shrimp crostinis, which are probably my second favorite thing that I offer. And those are absolutely delicious. What you do is you fry off tortillas whole so that they're large circles, and then you fry off some shrimp with some blackened Cajun seasoning. And, of course, you put those on top of the, the tortillas. And then, of course, you put on top of that some mango guacamole. When I first saw somebody make that recipe, they used regular guacamole, and I was like, how can I take this and elevate this to the next level? And I was thinking, what would be absolutely delicious would be some mangoes along with it. So I ended up making a mango guacamole, and I have not turned back since. I gotta say, every time I make guacamole, every single time, I make it with small diced mangoes in it, because it just takes the flavor and elevates it. It's so good.
I did see you make that, I believe, at your mom's party there, and that's what Bob and I were like, oh my goodness, look at this shrimp and this sauce and this guacamole. And I can cook a lot of things. I just can't seem to get guacamole right. And with that mango in there, oh my lands, I think it looked just so perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm so glad that I experimented with it. And I think it's very important to experiment in the kitchen. And that kind of leads me on to something else I think might have been a question earlier. I'm not sure if we skipped over it or not, but how do I find inspiration for dishes? So and something that I really like to do, other than watch a ton of Food Network and different series is on Food Network, and watching other content creators do amazing things. I every once in a while will text my friends outside of a group chat. I will text them all separately and say, hey, give me a random ingredient. Just a random ingredient. Can be anything. And I'll have a few of my friends text me random ingredients, and then I have to make a dish that incorporates all of those things inside the dish. And I think there's almost a million different ways that you can make food work into other foods, but it's so much fun to be forced into doing that. It's so much fun, and it gets your creative juices flowing, for sure. All right, so here we have our diced tomatoes, and now we're going to season with freshly cracked black pepper. A lot of this is to taste, so don't feel like, I didn't add enough, I added too much. Just test it out once it's done, and taste it as you go. So now here we have some fresh basil, and you can doesn't have to be anything fancy, just a quick little chop on that, and we'll throw that in with our tomatoes as well. And now, one of the last pieces to the puzzle is fresh garlic. Now, here's a little trick for everybody. If you don't know how to get the garlic out without trying to, pull it all apart, and it never really works well, best thing to do is lay it down flat, smack your knife over top of it. And what that does is it releases it from, I must not have hit hard enough, but okay, there you go. It releases it from its shell, and then it comes right out. So it's always nice. You lay it flat, smack the top, and it'll pop right out.
Perfect. Now, what kind of salt do you use? That looked a little coarser than like just a table salt.
It is a bit coarse. I like a probably a medium coarse kosher salt is usually the way to go. You can also do sea salt in a dish like this, but I'm not a big sea salt fan personally. Yeah, I do a kosher salt. Kosher salt's the way to go for almost, every Italian dish. Alrighty. I'm just doing a really quick mince on this. Very quick, very simple mince. Doesn't need to be fancy. That is just fine. And we'll scoop that up, and we'll put that right here with our tomato mixture. And I wish you guys were here because the smell is fantastic already just from this.
I'm sure.
Well, I can tell you, I'm a garlic fan, so I would just love this dish. Absolutely.
Now, the star of the show, one of the many stars of the show, I should say, balsamic vinegar is going to go right inside. And now I would say no more than 2 tablespoons in something this size.
Okay.
So you measure like the Italians do. I got you. Okay, gotcha.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
No recipe, just directions.
Yeah, absolutely. So once that's all mixed up and combined, we are pretty much ready to go to plate. So
no
what we're going to do...
Oil. Huh? I didn't.
No olive oil here. I like to finish with olive oil, personally.
Okay.
Chef Mike, we have a question here. What's the difference between kosher and sea salts?
Really just the flavor. There is a slight difference in flavor. You'll, to best explain it, typically sea salt is, to explain the flavor of it, it's a bit more tart, I would say. You may be familiar with it on top of dark chocolate very often because dark chocolate is a very bitter flavor that the sea salt will typically help cancel out the overly pungent flavor of a very dark chocolate. And then a kosher salt would be something very similar to what you would have on top of like a freshly baked pretzel that you would get from like Auntie Anne's or something like that. I'm pretty sure they use kosher salt. But that's very coarse kosher salt. And that just really helps pop with flavor as well. You can't go wrong with testing out different flavors of salt, different types of salt. But for me, I use kosher on almost everything. Almost everything.
Okay.
Wow, that's great.
All right, and now we're ready to plate. I think we're going to do this nice little dish here.
The wood's very popular.
And I'll show you what I'm doing. All right. Let me bring it down a little bit, too.
I love that cutting board. That is a real nice cutting board.
Thank you. All right. Perfect. Okay. Let's plate in 4 of them. See, and these are really fun because now they got very toasted. And you could hear how crisp they are, yet they're still nice and fluffy on the inside. So it's going to give you that crunch on the outside, and then it's going to be very flavorful on top. Now here I like to do a tiny bit of olive oil on each one. Re-season with just a little bit of salt. And then we can go on top with our bruschetta mixture. And don't be afraid to get this juice in it as well. I don't know how well you can see it, but
yeah, we can see it
right here. All right, so now we're going to scoop a big dollop on each one. Fell over.
Is dollop an Italian phrase?
I don't think so. Alrighty.
So I still, and I'm sure so many people do, have quite a few tomatoes left from my garden. as we're
Absolutely.
wrapping up a garden here, and I, of course, have nothing but Roma. I mean, I have a couple other kinds, but not many at all, but
Mhm.
mostly the Roma.
There we are. Yeah, I love Roma tomatoes. I use them for just about everything. You know what else they're really great for is cutting them into fourths and putting them in a food dehydrator. And if you do that, you'll end up with some of the most delicious uh, sun-dried tomatoes.
Really?
Love it that way. Oh
And
yeah,
do you put
absolutely.
olive oil on them or what? You just put them in there, cut them in four?
Yep, cut them into fourths. Typically, you want to cut out some of the middle where the seeds are, and it's a little
Yes.
extra juicy.
Right.
But yep. So now we just have some fresh
Wow.
mozzarella that we're
Yum.
Looks
going
so
to
good.
place on top.
My favorite. I like to
And I
eat.
like to press it down with my hands like this. And if I'm feeding a customer, a client, I'm going to wear gloves for this part. People don't like when you manhandle their food, but
Sure.
just like that. And then the last piece of the puzzle, and honestly my favorite, is using a balsamic glaze.
Oh,
And this is
Ooh.
basically condensed balsamic vinegar, and it's more
yes.
sweet, and it is absolutely delicious. And we're just going to hit the
Wow.
top just like that. And there you go. You're pretty much done.
Oh,
I'm going to call that it.
that looks
Oh my
absolutely
goodness. Look at
delicious.
that, folks. Look at
Oh my
that. Let me just say,
goodness.
my studio audience,
Oh my goodness. I'm starving actually.
that looks
That's
so
it.
good.
I almost feel bad that I can't share it with you and that I'm
Oh.
going to eat every last piece of
That's
this
okay. Listen,
all
'cause we
by
have
myself.
text. We have text. So if you can send us your address after the show, we'll just zoom right
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, exactly.
We did that with
Perfect.
one restaurant one time. They were like, "We just saw you." I'm like, "I know, we were hungry."
I know we're so hungry. We just went right to the restaurant
We
and
did.
got food.
Yeah.
Um, well, when we were in Italy, we brought home 2 bottles of balsamic, and one was much thicker than the other. So that must have been the
Mm-hmm.
glaze. I can't
Yes.
read Italian, so I kept saying to
Yeah.
Rob, "Oh, just so much sweeter than the other one." And literally, I mean, me, you don't cook anything, but I scraped out. I mean, it was in a beautiful bottle. I just scraped out the last, but it's very sad that it's all gone. So now I know I can
Yeah.
get some more good stuff.
So, Chef
Yeah,
Rob,
you
when
can
you
get more. Like every grocery store will have a balsamic vinegar and a balsamic glaze.
Yes.
Um, yeah, balsamic reduction it might be called as well.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's the way to go. You can put that on sandwiches. I put it on everything. I made some wings the other day, and I did like a tomato seasoning, and I put balsamic vinegar, balsamic glaze on top. Amazing, absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
oh,
Rob doesn't typically like tomatoes. Um, but when we go to the beach, there's a place called Good Earth down there, and they make
Mm-hmm.
wings with this potato tomato jam. He's like, I don't think I'm gonna like
Mm,
them, but it had a kick. But it has the dried tomatoes in it, like you were talking about, and it's
mm-hmm.
delicious.
yes.
That's so good.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
good. So on a
Cool,
typical,
cool.
so let's say someone goes to your Facebook page, again, facebook.com/stove and garden. That's how you can contact Chef Mike. And make sure you like and follow his page as well, by the way. But if you're going to contact him, Chef, what is some of, just give us a couple of different dishes that are mostly sought after with your clients.
Yeah, absolutely. So I do a homemade pizza, which is one of the classic things I do. I guess I would call it. Um, and that comes in all sorts of different kinds, whatever kind of pizza toppings you want. But I make dough from scratch. I make the sauce from scratch, and I come to your house and I bring this portable oven, and I have all sorts of videos and pictures with it. If you're curious in seeing what it is, I have it all over there. But I make the pizza fresh in front of you, there's something about it being just made completely from scratch, and it goes from
Sorry,
the
there's one
oven
picture
to
of me.
immediately. It just makes the flavor that much better. It's delicious. I also make a wealth of other Italian dishes like chicken parm. I also make spaghetti bolognese. Of course, Maryland here in Maryland, like you guys, I made a crab cake dinner as well. So yeah, I try to give everybody something to enjoy. Um, even if people have you know um, dietary limitations or allergy limitations, I can completely accompany any issues with that. Rest easy. I would not give you any issues with that. I'm used to working around all sorts of different types of allergies. Me, myself, I was gluten-free for a long period of time, so I'm used to cooking without gluten. I also make a gluten-free pizza. It's a little more difficult to work with, but I can do it.
Right.
Yeah, so I try to just make it easy for everybody, honestly.
I just wanted to show everyone a couple other things that you've made in the past. How about this banana bread? Oh my goodness! So you have banana bread there. You have butterfly, oat bars? Is that what that is?
What is
I mean
that?
blueberry. Did I say butterfly?
It's a blueberry oat bar. Basically,
goodness.
you make oatmeal with a whole bunch of blueberries in it, and you bake it for a longer period of time, so it dries out a little bit, so it turns into bars instead of like typical oatmeal.
That looks
Yeah,
so
and you
good.
can freeze those and eat them in the morning before you go to work. They're good for breakfast on the go.
Wow,
that looks so
awesome.
good.
It
and,
does.
And how about this? The chocolate peanut
Yeah,
bar?
that was
What is
the
that?
chocolate peanut butter version because my
Oh.
favorite candy is Reese's, and who wouldn't want to wake up in the morning and eat Reese's every morning? So
And everybody's into
that's
the grab and go granola bars, that are full
exactly.
of
It's very similar
garbage.
to a granola. It's more the texture is quite different, but the taste is very similar to a granola bar.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
wow.
one of our best clients, Donna, asked if you make chicken Chesapeake.
I can absolutely make chicken Chesapeake. I don't have it on my list of items right now, but
Right.
one of my favorite things to make when I worked at the wealth of different Maryland restaurants I've worked at, they've made a ton of chicken Chesapeake, and I love it personally.
Yes.
And I would love to make it for you.
Awesome. Oh, Donna, we're gonna have a date. We're gonna have him make us chicken Chesapeake. We love to go to places and try chicken Chesapeake. It's one of our favorite things to do.
Just I think one more here, but what is this here? This is tomato basil. I see ricotta.
Yeah, that's a tomato, basil, and ricotta toast. So basically, very similar to this, except no mozzarella, and that ricotta has a splash of lemon juice in it, so it really pops in flavor. It's very delicious, and that also has a balsamic reduction on top as well.
Oh, that's great. So, Chef Mike, if somebody wanted to come and say, can they order like lunch for their office? Like do you have a menu?
Absolutely.
Of like
So I provide a few different things. I can either bring it to the office completely prepared and just drop it off, or I can also come set up and cook everything on site and serve it that way. So it all depends on what the client prefers. But yeah, I have a few different people in this area, in the Bel Air area, that I cook for once a month. I come to their business and I make either breakfast or lunch for them.
Right.
I would love to do more of it. It's all about getting myself out there. Right now, I've had really good feedback from everybody, but I of course, I've only been doing this professionally now for 6 months or so. Right. So my book of business is not very large. So hopefully something like this gives me a little bit more exposure out there. But
yes, absolutely.
I love what I do, and I love making good food for people, and I just want people to enjoy it. And I hope that resonates through this.
Us too.
Well, you've made it on to Let's Talk Real Estate, so your business is going to boom now. It's going to absolutely boom. So we're going to claim it right now.
I'm going to be booked every day of the week from here forward.
That's the goal.
Avoid Let's Talk Real Estate because if you want to be busy, that's the place to go. But this was exciting. This really was. I'm so glad that we had you on board.
Yes.
This is.
Thank you.
Yeah, can't wait for our office to book you.
Yeah, the comments have been wonderful, by the way, and I just can't wait to go back and read them. If you have any other questions, folks, by the way, please comment in the comment section. You put your questions there. We're going to follow this program for the next couple of weeks here, and you can also find it on YouTube as well. And we really do appreciate everyone's involvement and engagement with us. It's been really wonderful. And Mike, Chef Mike, just the best way for everyone to contact you is going to be through your Facebook page. Is that correct?
Yeah, Facebook is probably the easiest. You go straight to my page, and you can just message me straight from there.
Okay.
If you do have any issues with it, I also have an email. You can email me. It's just stoveandgarden@gmail.com.
Okay.
It's doesn't get easier than that. So it's just my name, Stove and Garden, all spelt out, AND and everything, at gmail.com. You can send me that way as well. If you're not huge into Facebook, which I guess if you're watching this you are, but yeah, any which way you want to
That's
reach me,
great.
hopefully you find a good way
That's
through
right.
that.
And all we have to do is, if you have a website, or you could share with us your menus and your prices for, X amount of people.
Absolutely. I
different
actually just
options.
posted a picture a couple days ago. I'll post another one
Okay.
of like an updated menu
Great.
to my page as well for anyone who's interested.
That's
awesome.
wonderful. And we'll have links on the show afterwards. We'll put some links in the description and change it up a bit for everyone. So if you have trouble contacting them, just go ahead and search out this program, and you'll be able to see that in the description. So that's wonderful.
So I have one more thought.
Yeah.
So for people who live busy lives and they still host holidays, like Thanksgiving's coming up, will you
Mhm.
make, like, is there an option for you to maybe make like a side dish of, like, I don't know, sweet potato casserole or something like that for 15 people, and you can bring it to us, or we can pick it up from you or something like that? You think those kind of
Yeah,
options might
absolutely.
be available?
Yeah, I could definitely do something like that. Like I said, I haven't been doing this super long, so
Right.
I can't exactly say, "Oh, I've done something like that before." But
Right.
I'm up for anything. And look, this is my business 100%. So I don't
Right.
have any other job. This is what I do for a living, and I am committed to making things work for people. If they're interested in something and I've never done it before, I'll tell you I've never done it before, but I'll do my very best to knock it out of the park, whatever it may be.
I'm sure you
Yeah, Donna
will.
wanted to know, when can we set up a date. Donna, we'll have links in the description afterwards, and
Yes.
you can contact them by email. You can contact them through Facebook, and go ahead and get that set up with him. Okay, so that sounds great.
Awesome.
Well,
look forward to it.
Thank you so much coming on board with us, Chef Mike. We really appreciate that. And give us an hour. We'll be by and pick up that bruschetta from you. So I appreciate that.
You got it. I'll put it on ice for you.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Folks, let's give him a round of applause. Thank you so much for coming on
again. We
board.
so appreciate
We
you
really
being
appreciate
here.
that. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Good
All right,
night.
bye now.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
See ya.
So how about that?
Awesome.
Was that great?
Awesome. That is great.
Yeah, yeah. He was such a wonderful guest. Wonderful
Yes.
to have him
yes.
on board
Oh my
with
gosh, I'm
us.
so hungry now.
Yeah, I know, really, really. So what we're going to do is we have a couple of things to get through here. We're going to do the calendar of events,
Awesome.
and we'll be right back.
Sounds good.
There's no need to complicate things. Let's stick to the basics. We both know what we want. Let's just keep it simple. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. We dance on the same wavelength. This feels like a new beginning. We both know what we want. Let's just keep it simple. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. So won't you let me trip with you? Leading and follow. Leave us till tomorrow. So won't you let me trip with you? Leading and follow. Leave us till tomorrow. So won't you let me? So won't you let me? So won't you let me? I dream that if I can hold you close, you can be my antidote. Let me run away with you tonight. Let us leave the world behind. Give in, keep yourself thinking. Tonight, let go and start dreaming. I was feeling down low, you just brought me straight up. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh, we're higher than the ceiling. I feel everything is spinning. I was feeling down low, you just brought me straight up. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. So won't you let me trip with you? Leading and follow, leave us till tomorrow. So won't you let me trip
right. Again, that was a great program
It really
so far.
was.
We are going to dive into our market stats, and we'll be
Okay.
right back with the market stats.
Get you whatever you want. I'll settle for nothing. As long as we can keep the fire. I'll do whatever you do. Follow you anywhere. If our chances are getting brighter. But I want you to know I can't help but fight this feeling. I want you to try. Imagine living without it. So let's go.
All right. Well, there's a lot going on in the market right now. I mean, obviously, as you look at the stats, a lot of the showings have decreased. They've come down, but let me tell you, it depends on what area that you're in.
I was going to say that one was up 13%.
Yeah, we're still.
I don't think it was going down.
Yeah, we're still in somewhat an aggressive market, depending on what area you're in. I mean, some of these stats just don't reflect what we're doing. I know that because we're seeing multiple offers,
Right.
whether representing a buyer or even on the selling side.
Right.
So it's kind of crazy. But we really appreciate everybody hanging out with us tonight. We had a great show, a great time, right?
I hear the music.
Yeah. That's because our show is ending. Our
Okay.
show is ending, and that's why you hear the music. Yes, exactly.
All right.
So anyhow, Maria, we're always what? Better?
Together.
We're better together, that's right. And remember to keep the Maryland Homes team at the top of the list of companies you're going to interview, teams you're going to interview when it comes time to buy or sell your home. You won't regret calling us and finding out all the details of what we can do for you. And regardless, again, whether you're buying or you're selling. So we look forward to seeing you our next show.
Yes.
We're going to have a great time in a couple of weeks. So make sure you keep following our Facebook page,
Yes.
YouTube, and Twitter, and you're going to find out more information about what we're doing,
We'll see you
what
in
we're
2
up
weeks.
to. See you in a couple of
Have
weeks.
a great night.
What's your story? What's your sign? It's like we're twin flames in a different life. Deep connection lights a spark. It's like you know me in the depths of my heart. We're dreamers. Don't care what other people say. We live it like this could be our final day. We're dreamers. Don't care what the others say. We're doing this in our way. We come alive in the nighttime. It's something about how we dance in the moonlight. That look in your eyes, it tells me that you want me and all my loving. We come alive in the nighttime. You and I, we come alive. We come alive. We come alive. What's your weakness? What's your type? Somehow I wanna know all about you. Deep connection.